Well, on this side of the Atlantic, we're now going to have a short presentation from Georg Kell on the Sustainability Manifesto on the Green Imperative. If perhaps you'd like to step up to the podium, or prefer to do it from there?
Maybe from the podium.
From the podium? Great.
Well, the fun part is over. I know you have been working very hard for 2 days, and you will recall that yesterday we handed out a one-page note as an outcome of the 2-day deliberations. There's great news, a lot of encouragement. Many participants conveyed to us that they think this is a very useful and handy piece of paper, which kind of reflects the spirit of what we discussed. There are a few minor changes that were proposed to us, and I'm asking you to bear with me just for 1 minute, and hopefully we can then kind of by acclamation share the sentiment of this document. One was to introduce sustainable more often in front of green, to also convey that this is not just green but also blue and the other colors. I guess this has support. The other point was indeed to also call on governments to provide appropriate regulatory and incentive structures to encourage more sustainable consumption and production and send the right market signals for business to act. I believe this was also something which very much reflects the spirits of the discussion yesterday and today, and I'll ask you in a moment that indeed we agree on this. And there was an important addition also by our friends from WWF, forgive me for pointing this out, to one of the paragraphs which adds on building the green economy with transformative improvements that avoid lock-in high carbon and resource inefficient systems. Sounds very self-evident. I think this is also something which we discussed on energy efficiency and other points. Another important, and this is the last one, addition was indeed under the paragraph, we need to shift from a product to a service perspective, applying life cycle approaches, an inclusion here to spell it out, that support cradle-to-cradle strategies in business along all value chains. I believe also this reinforces the sustainability notion and something we discussed over the last 2 days. So with these very limited amendments that came in over the last 2 days, I'm asking you whether indeed you all can go along with this outcome paper. We will not ask you to sign on individually, but we think it reflects somehow the spirit, and given that so much work was invested in the last 2 days, it is just good to have a short, concise note which reflects the spirit of the moment, the zeitgeist from Paris. Can I take it that we are all on board by acclamation, so to speak? Thank you very much. Seal the deal. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Well, you certainly have my acclamation. I would have clapped even more loudly if I didn't have the papers under here. Well, we're now going to go to our closing session. We're going to be very, very quick. We're going to go straight back to our panel. We're going to ask for one quick takeaway. What is the message we need to take away from this conference? Aaron.
Well, I'll say actually what I just said, and very briefly, speed up and scale up.
Great. Georg.
Working towards COP15, I think, is now the priority, and putting pressure on everybody who has a decision-making capacity in COP15, especially governments.
Sylvie.
Each one has to do it at its own level, and it's possible, so let's do it together. And first towards COP15, second toward the next CSD, Commission on Sustainable Development, that will precisely tackle all this issue of resource efficiency next year.
Thank you very much. Please join me in thanking an excellent panel. Please also thank me in joining in thanking our tireless organisers, who are not only responsible for getting you here, but for making all this technological wizardry work. I think some of them are in the room, so please, if we could just say thank you to them. And then I just want to leave you with one final thought, which is that what Georg Kell has presented here is a manifesto of sorts. Manifestos we normally associate with rather bloody things we call revolutions. Now, what we have here is a revolution which is actually already underway. It's a slow burn revolution, but it is nonetheless It is nonetheless a revolution. But the really great thing about this revolution, the very different thing about this revolution, is that it's a revolution that creates value. It's a revolution where we can make money. And I think that is a very, very important message to take out of this room, take it onto the street, and into the minds of those people who still think that greenery and growth are polar opposites. Thank you very much.